write your name at the top of his list. And the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. And the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Robbins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Today's guest is a return from a few weeks ago, and he's running for Senate District 12. And his name is Stephen Guede, and when we return, we're going to talk with him. So get your pen. You might want to write something down. Stay right there. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here, and today's guest is Stephen Guede, and he's running for District 12 of the Alabama State Senate. And he's come back today to answer some of the things that's happened since he was here on his last visit. So welcome back to the show, Stephen.
Thanks for having me, Ken. It's good to be here.
I call you Steve.
You can call me Steve or Steven. I answer to either.
To either one. At supper time, you'd come to either one of mine.
I would come to any one of them.
Steve, I got to know you a little bit on the last show, and since then, there's been a lot of things come out there. I like this one. That I don't like it, but I mean, it's something that came out there, and they lurk in the shadows. It's like a movie thing. They lurk at the dark money and the dark, be afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun is what it needs to have in the background.
There was a time nobody paid attention to you. All of a sudden, it's they were worried about you. Be afraid of you. Be afraid. But the first thing I want to talk about is one of the things they address is, well, let me go back a little. You served in the United States Navy before. You're a Navy veteran.
Yes, sir.
What'd you have? I gave you the hat.
Look, I had to get it back. My 16-year-old was trying to get that thing from me. Man. And I had to get it back from him yesterday. Okay. And we were wearing it around doing door-to-door yesterday. That's a great hat. Oh, yeah. Great. Oh, yeah.
All right. So you was, when your main core platform, as you hear the last time, was a thing called Common Core.
Well, that was the piece of it. That's a big piece of it. And I've since then gotten some new material on Common Core.
For the camera one. Tell me about this.
Well, what you need to know is that book cannot be opened in front of the TV camera, right, because we would be in trouble with the FCC, because it's vulgar and pornographic in nature inside. And it's for 10-year-olds, recommended reading for 10-year-olds from Common Core, and it's in the state of Tennessee. And we can't show it to you. And I would like to think that even my opponent, who's been a champion for Common Core in this last year, if he saw this, he would probably change his mind about Common Core. I would hope anyway. I don't know. He's so adamant that Common Core is going to fix Alabama schools. But if Common Core is going to fix Alabama schools, why do we have a School Choice Act for failing schools? You would think that Common Core would have already fixed it by now, wouldn't you?
Would have took care of it. Now like you said, we can't show that on here. This is family television, but I saw some of it, and you can't see this any better if you went to a porn store, and I'm serious. So I asked folks to go look at this book.
Again, it's Perfectly Normal, and it's a health book for 10-year-olds in the state of Tennessee. And it's already there, and they're wanting to bring it here.
It's not okay for 10-year-olds, in my opinion, or 12th graders. That is something that should never. I don't know. I see that the schools are going to teaching sexuality in school, but what is the parents? What happened to parents teaching these kind of things? Why did it become the school's responsibility to teach this?
Well, because the liberal left wants the liberal left teaching kids about sexuality. I always talk about the liberal left wants to sex children up, dumb them down, and drug them up. And the reason that is because if you don't know what you believe in, if you don't have a moral compass and moral fiber, then you'll fall for just about anything.
Yeah.
You know how that is. If you don't know what you believe in, you will fall for anything. And this is part of that deconstructing the American family. I'm sorry, but my children, when they were 10 years old, they were not sexual beings. They were little children.
Yeah, but my thing is more simpler than that. Is like to go off, the school is prepare you to go off and make. How does that help you
make a living?
Yeah, and unless you're going to be in that profession. But if your parents are supposed to teach this, but how does that reading, writing, arithmetic get lost for this. So that's what I just don't understand.
It's social programming. It has nothing to do with education.
Yeah.
It's social programming. It says this thing, that thing, the other thing, anything is okay. But, and here's the other question I have, Ken. Kids can read this in school, but they can't read the Bible?
Thank you.
How is that?
I don't know. That's a good question for whoever supports Common Core to answer, not me and you. School choice. We didn't talk about it the last time. That's all you think about school choice. I hadn't talked to you about this.
It's sold as an idea to move kids out of failing schools. It took a lot of money out of this school system. It took over, $100,000 out of this school system? Why don't we use that money to fix the failing school? Why are we not fixing the failing school? And again, if Common Core is so great, why isn't it fixing the failing schools? The other problem is that the way it's administered, it's a payoff for somebody. Okay? I don't know who's getting paid to administer it. Actually, I do. I believe it's one of Bob Riley's associations is getting paid to administer it. But if you're getting paid to administer it, why are you only marketing it to schools that have areas that have good schools already? Are they marketing that in Anniston? I haven't seen any commercials. I haven't seen the program for Anniston's kids to move to Donahoe School. But the bigger point is, the bigger picture is, why aren't we taking the money, instead of sending it to private schools, why aren't we fixing the problems in the schools?
My question, the business I'm serving on the State Board of Veterans Affairs, when we need to know something, we do a feasibility study that's sanctioned by the Senate and the House. In order to determine that a school is a failing school, there had to be some kind of a study. And that study said school A is failing because
X.
So X, you take your money and you go to X and you fix it, it's no longer a failing school. If it's low graduation rate, instead of that $3,500, how about giving them a $3,500 incentive for an automobile when they graduate school?
Well, that's one way to look at it. See, but again, I think about the kids who get left behind. Yeah. So if you move the kids, if you move one or two kids out of each school to a private school, what about the rest of the kids who are still failing? The money that they put into it isn't enough money to address every student in every school in Alabama. So really, it's not even a finger in the dam. It's kind of just I don't even know. It's kind of an empty gesture, to be honest with you.
If you had a kid over in Ohatchee somewhere and you wanted to send them to, there's a I'm just using an example to say that was a failing school, you wanted to send them to Donahoe, you're talking 30 miles.
Right.
And how do you do that trade-off? And that $3,500 is ate up real quick with time and money on that.
And like I said, I think the idea behind it, there's some honest, good thoughts behind doing that, but it's underfunded and it's being handled incorrectly as far as I'm concerned.
Before we get down to this last minute, I want to, in this segment, I want to get to this. One of the things your opponents charge you with is being a liberal because you accept money from AEA. First of all, when you had a large part in the Tea Party in Alabama?
Well, I'm a former leader for the local group called Rainy Day Patriots of Calhoun County, and we're part of a spoke in the wheel that is the largest Tea Party group in the entire state. Oh, and by the way, they support me. They don't come out and support a lot of candidates actively, but they support me. The entire network supports me as a candidate. Largest Tea Party group in the state of Alabama. We also have, the Alabama Tea Party Express supports me. Let's see what other kind of groups. The Conservative Christians of Alabama have endorsed me.
Hold that list, because we got to do that. We'll come back, we're going to finish up with who else besides AEA supports CG. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and we're talking with Steve Guede, and we're talking about, we went to commercial, he's running for District 12, Alabama State Senate, and we were talking about, Steve, I set this back up again, we had, your opponent is attacking you for being liberal, and it says, the justification of that for it is you are supported by AEA, and they draw an arrow, all these different, that even Obama, so, I don't think you know him, don't think you run against him. No. But you were telling me about some of the other organizations that...
Well, let me say that the AEA is a group that teachers donate to.
Right.
It is their association, Alabama Educators Association, so it's funded by teachers. 70% of the teachers or better in Calhoun County and in the surrounding area vote Republican. What other group in Montgomery can make that claim? I would say none. I would say the Business Council can. I would say the Chamber of Commerce can. So because Republican voters donate to an organization that is supporting me, I'm connected to Obama somehow. Let me tell you about a couple other groups here.
He says, be afraid, be very afraid, because you're supported by the teachers.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and he mentions a foundation there, but there's no foundation there that's donated to my campaign.
I'm trying to figure out still, it's not just you, but at least one other person there, they attack him because they made the AEA the
boogeyman.
Boogeyman. I mean, it's really, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And the funny thing is that all of those folks who were making the AEA boogeyman during the last election cycle took money from the AEA. Isn't that a coincidence?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Dale Marsh, on behalf of the Republican Executive Committee, took $135,000 from the AEA.
Look out, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, huh?
Surprising you? So, when politicians stand up and say, well, I'm supported by the Business Council, I'm supported by the Chamber of Commerce, these aren't conservative groups. These are groups of self-interest. Let me tell you about some of the groups that support me, which are conservative groups. Conservative Christians of Alabama has endorsed me. Is that a liberal group run by Barack Obama? K. Carl Smith, the founder of Frederick Douglass Republicans, has endorsed me. He gives out very few endorsements. I don't think he's a liberal. The Alabama Tea Party Express isn't liberal. Bama Carey, which is the biggest Second Amendment group here in this county and the surrounding area. Bama Carey. They've come out and endorsed me of Northeast Alabama. So these are the local Second Amendment guys who know me.
Right.
I don't think they're a liberal group. The Alliance Against Abortions, that doesn't sound like, I don't see, let's see, who else? The Alabama Republican Assembly. I don't think that any of those groups I just mentioned there who are endorsing me sound like they're affiliated with Barack Obama whatsoever.
That's what I don't see, is when you sit there, you turn on these television, these real high-priced ads that run the arrow through there, and it says, it always goes to, when you was on here last time, said they run a survey and they use that word Obama and Obamacare. But the people that you would be serving are people of Clay County, Talladega, Calhoun County, that the Obamacare thing is one that, but you're not going to be able to affect that a whole lot.
Well, I've been talking about some in-state solutions that we could do. Maybe doing some small clinics that take cash would be a way to get around Obamacare, because it's immensely expensive. One thing is that it doesn't provide any care for anyone additional, and it's immensely expensive. I know I've talked to folks who have lost their health care. They had a health care plan, but it didn't meet the standard of Obamacare. So the plan got canceled and they had to pay 2 to 3 times as much to get a new plan. Does that sound like somebody had fought Obamacare in the state of Alabama? Because it's here. Here.
Other than what they did about what the governor decided not to take that, what was it? How do you turn that as a state representative or a senator or somebody on Public Service Commission that's talking about if they're elected, they'll do this against Obama, to get Obama. I hear people telling me, I wish these people would run, tell us what they're going to do for Calhoun County and Talladega, and quit telling us about what they're going to do about Obama. We understand why they're doing that, but
that's a deflection.
What about the Alabama Foundation for Limited Government? Tell me about that. Or is it just what it says it is?
That's what it says it is. I believe it's run by a lifelong Republican. He used to be a Republican state legislator back in the 70s.
That'd be a liberal, huh?
He's been involved in the Republican Party since the 70s, back when none of these folks who were throwing accusations at this foundation were even around in the Republican Party. But again, I'm not here to defend that guy. I haven't taken any money from that foundation. That foundation can't donate money. And furthermore, Dale Marsh and his friends have 4 or 5 foundations, but nobody's worried about where the money's going into those foundations from. I don't understand why my campaign financing is so important, but his can remain invisible, and his foundations that he's associated with, their money can remain invisible, and not me. I mean, I sound like I'm on the defensive, but I think to myself, there's a little hypocrisy there. But I don't care, because if you look at my ads, folks, I'm not running negative stuff. I'm running the truth. The truth is not positive or negative. The truth is the truth. They have nothing on me. I'm a regular citizen who obeys the law, pays my taxes, and tries to do the right thing. They've got nothing. They got nothing on me, so they got to make some stuff up. They got to, they got to cast an aspersion. And again, I look at that ad, and in the background, I do hear that, dun, 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 yeah. He's evil.
Well, you know what really tells it? You better not be seeing, because you slipped in my house, but if you look out my window, and one of the teachers that's been teaching here for 25, maybe 30 years, got one of your signs in her driveway.
God bless the teachers.
Dang old teachers.
Teachers have come out to support me because they haven't been treated right.
Yeah.
They haven't been treated right. They've gone without a pay increase for a long time. And Senator Marsh stopped them having a pay increase this year, 2.5%. That's not a lot. And that's really why they're mad, and that's really why the AA is supporting me, because he's done the teachers wrong. You take care of teachers, you take care of your firemen, you take care of your police. Those are your number one priorities.
Right.
Number one priority isn't let's repave the road we just repaved 2 years ago so that my buddy the contractor can get a little extra money in his pocket. Not let's remodel my office because I've been using this office furniture for a whole 5 years, and so I need to remodel my office and move the pictures around. That's what, you don't do that stuff. That's not what the money's for. The money is to provide services. And let's be honest, even if I get elected as a public servant to serve the folks of District 12 in the legislature, it won't compare to what a fireman, a policeman, or a teacher has to go through every day. That's public service.
What that was one of the things, one of the questions I had here. You say if, and I say when. When you're elected, accessibility has been a problem for a lot of people. What about, how do you feel on that, about returning calls and open door and all that stuff?
Folks, my phone number is 454-8487. It's this phone right here. It was that noise you heard in the background there for a minute. Sorry about that. I didn't turn it on silent because I don't screen my calls.
I got you.
So that's my phone number. If you want to call me, it's right here. If I get to the State House, I want to take the door off the office. Or when I get to the State House, we'll be positive about that, because I think my chances are pretty good at this point if folks get out and vote.
Well,
folks
I didn't know you. I didn't know you. Now there's people that are talking at the polls. You're way up there, and the people are talking about Stephen Guede. Who is he? What does he do? How did he get here? And they find out you're just one of us. You just, but hold that thought, because that's something that people can relate to, somebody who's been there, done that, walked in their shoes, and you've been there. There's no song, I've been everywhere. You've been everywhere and done everything. But we're going to go to a break here and come back. We're going to wind it up with some more stuff. But be back with Steve Guede. Stay where you are. Welcome back to Veterans Issues, and we're talking with Steve Guede, and Steve is a candidate for the state District 12, and we've talked about a lot of things. But Steve, I hit on that you was a Navy veteran, and I said as we was going out to the last break that you've been everywhere. Tell me a little bit about you. That's important to the people out there. Remember, I said you're just like everybody else, but.
Well, we'll look at my resume a little bit. Is my resume that my father was a banker and my mother was a lawyer, and therefore I'm a high-powered this? No, I'm just a guy. I've been a mechanic's assistant as a young man. I've been an automotive detailer as a teenager. I've hung drywall for a living. I've installed flooring for a living. I've been a contractor in several different trades. I've worked in chemical dependency for a time. I'm currently working in the aviation industry because I learned the aviation trade in the military, and it was a good transferable skill. And that's what I do right now. I'm a technician at an aviation repair facility that repairs aircraft parts for airliners from all over the world. All over the world. Everybody in the world has at one time or another sent their part through this little Anniston shop over here by the airport, and I can't mention its name because there's some, the company is sensitive about that, and they should be, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to break the rules, because that's the other thing that I am. I'm not the guy who breaks the rules because I'm special this or special that. The rules apply to everyone.
I got you. And this is you said that you work with a chemical dependency supervisor. Is that what it sounds like it was? People who were
It was drug treatment.
drug treatment. Okay.
It was drug treatment, and I worked with folks in drug treatment, and you know, that was the kind of thing at the time that really touched my heart, and my heart really went out to those folks who were looking for a second chance in life. So that's and for a long time that job kept my heart, but the long-term growth in that industry wasn't there for me, so I went and did other things.
A lot of people think that being a state senator or state representative is just a couple of times a year you're going to Montgomery. Those of us like myself know that's not true. Sometimes it can be a 6 or 7 day a week job, and then not down in Montgomery, but from your home, making phone calls on behalf of people and that kind of thing. I assume you've planned ahead that you can do those kind of things.
I do those kind of things now because I'm involved. Like I said, I was involved with the Tea Party movement and political movement already, working with the Republican Executive Committee and state candidates and all those kind of things already. So, my day never ends when I get off work. It never ends.
That was something that really, as a voter, kind of struck me as if I was going to, and I've run for political office, so I know, but to attack you for being liberal when you come, the balance between the Republican Party, the Conservatives, and the Tea Party, the one that is the less liberal would be the Tea Party person, right. And it's your background.
And there's a lot, there is a lot of good conservative Republicans in this state. There's a lot of good Republican conservatives, and I know most of them.
but between the Tea Party started, as I know, because some of the conservatives were not conservative enough. Am I right?
That's they campaign as conservatives, and then they go up there and do whatever they want. They go up there and do whatever they want. I'll give you an example right now. Well, no, I won't. You know what I mean? I don't really want to bash other conservatives or the Republicans. That's not who I am. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
What I do is I want to affect change. And let's be clear that...
Got 30 seconds. Tell me how.
Let's be clear that the Tea Party came to be about, because like you said, the Republicans were acting just like the Democrats. And we conservative Republicans were saying, what the heck? This is not okay. We're tired of you being just like the other side. Because at the very top levels, they don't care about party. They care about power, influence, and money.
Remember this book, folks. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Ken.
And let's make sure that our third graders don't get that. We got to run, and this week, and wish y'all a luck in the world. We got to go.